pressing on till I see your face. I will live that your will be done. I won't stop till your kingdom come. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love never ending. Oh, oh, oh. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Oh, oh, oh. You are my freedom. We lift you higher. You are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love never ending. Oh, oh, oh. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
Well, welcome to Messy Easter. It's great to see you. My name's Rich and I work for St Michael's Church and Ackroydon Church. And I may have met some of you before at Messy Church in person when we used to be able to do that in Ackroydon Hall. But we're doing this because Easter's such an important time and we thought you'd enjoy it. Messy Church, if you've never been before, the idea is just to have a lot of fun, to tell some stories about the Bible, learn about that using some crafts and some songs and a bit of funny acting, hopefully, and we hope you enjoy it. Do grab your craft pack, and Heidi's going to be taking us through some great crafts. And today, we're focusing on the Easter story, which is the biggest Christian festival. So I hope you learn loads, have a great time, and enjoy it. So I'm going to kick off by handing over to my ancient relative, who is Centurion Boothus. I was standing there, and it was different, you know. Normally when we kill criminals, it's like really noisy and stuff, like people walking by, throwing stuff, shouting insults. But this time, it was different, like there were a few people shouting, but it was more family. It wasn't so noisy. People standing around, crying. Like, why were they doing that for this guy? I don't know. The robbers killed either side of him. They were quite normal too. It weren't natural. No one dies quiet on a cross. But this guy did. Never seen anything like it. The sky went black and all. Proper freaked me and the boys out, it did. I reckon he was something special. It's like he was from above, you know. People says he died to show people God's love. Do you reckon he'd love an old soldier like me? I think his name was Jesus. He was incredible. You should check him out.
Oh, hello.
All right.
Oh my gosh, that's a funny costume. What kind of animal are you?
I'm a Roman centurion. A warrior, a leader, a fighter, a hero. You should show more respect.
Uh-oh, think I got off on the wrong foot there. What side of the bed did he get out of? Anyway, sorry, sir.
Yeah, well, that's better.
So, what's been happening here?
Well, I reckon someone incredible just died.
Oh my gosh, really? Was he a superhero?
Well, he was super, and he was a hero, but not like one of your Marvel ones.
Oh, okay, so did he have, special powers?
Well, I heard he turned water into wine, and he can walk on water.
Amazing!
I got some contacts, if you want to get to know him.
Contacts?
Well, I got a map.
Oh, a treasure map?
Is there any other kind?
Oh my gosh, I love a treasure map!
Well, here you go, young nipper. Good luck to him.
Thanks! See you later! Well, hello there! This here map told me to come here. It said I could find some treasure. Can you help me?
Yes, well, my name's Peter. And
Hi, Peter.
Hey, so I can definitely help you on your search, but you need to know the whole story of why this treasure is so special.
Oh, well, why can't I just follow the map and dig for the treasure and, take it?
Well, this treasure isn't exactly silver or gold or anything like that. It's a special type of treasure that will change your life from the inside out forever.
Okay, I'm listening.
But I need to warn you beforehand that this story has some sad moments in it.
Oh.
But it has the happiest ending of all time.
Oh, okay, well, go on then.
So it starts with this man called Jesus.
Jesus? Yeah, no, hang on. I've heard of him. This Roman centurion guy. He said something about Jesus. I think he said he died to show God's love or something.
Yeah, that's right. And Jesus was one of my closest friends. you
Oh,
see.
cool.
Yeah, and he wasn't your average sort of friend. He was amazing at everything he did.
Wow.
He went around teaching people about how to treat each other with love and respect, and he taught people how to love God in better ways. He even went around to heal people from diseases.
What? Wait, he healed them?
So, I wouldn't have believed it myself unless I saw it with my very eyes. This man was utterly, utterly brilliant, and I knew he was going to change the world. But some really important people hated him so much. They thought he was spreading lies and corrupting people, and they wanted him dead.
But that's terrible.
Yeah.
He sounds like such a great guy.
He was lovely, and, he was the best, in fact.
Oh.
And the people that wanted him dead, they knew that they had to get one of Jesus' friends to betray him. Yeah. So they took this guy called Judas, dodgy sort of fellow, and they paid him money to hand him over to Roman soldiers, and they took him away to die on the cross.
No way, but surely he was with his friends. I mean, what did you guys do? How did you help him?
Well, we didn't help him, and I'm ashamed about this. We got scared that we'd get in trouble too, so we ran away. Someone actually asked me, and they said, "Peter, this guy Jesus, you know him, right?" And I said, "No." I said, "I don't know who he is." I was afraid, and I lied. Yes, Judas betrayed Jesus, but all of us did. All of us were mates, and we denied Jesus. But remember what that Roman centurion said about how Jesus died on the cross to show us God's love? Yeah. Well, this means that Jesus has forgiven us from our sins and all the things that we've done wrong. The things you've done wrong, the things I've done wrong, the things anyone has done wrong. We have been forgiven.
Right. I mean, you know what? This sounds great, but Peter, Jesus died. When you're dead, you're dead. How do you know you've been forgiven if you can't even actually say sorry to Jesus?
But I did say sorry to him.
Huh?
So I saw Jesus again when he rose from the dead, and he told me that he had forgiven me, and it took a massive weight off my shoulders. And now I want to tell the world about how amazing this forgiveness is.
Now hang on there. Hold the phone. What do you mean you saw him again? dead!
Yes, he was very dead, but he also rarely rose again. And this was his way of showing that he was sent by God.
Nonsense! People don't rise from the dead! Ha! I don't believe you!
I thought you might say that. Take a look at your next clue on your map. It's going to lead you to one of my friends called Thomas, and I think you're going to be very interested in what he has to say.
Well, okay, I'll go and meet Thomas, but I don't know about this.
You'll be pleasantly surprised.
See you then.
Bye-bye. Well, hello everyone. So, if you remember, Messy Church was about stories, games, and crafts together. So we've already had the first part of our story, and there's still more to come. But we thought we'd do some crafts in the meantime, just so you don't get bored and you can keep active during this session. So we're going to do some crafts that told us about the stories that we have just heard. And if you remember me, you know anything about me, I am absolutely hopeless at doing crafts. I can't even cut in a straight line. So I need some help, and I need someone to teach me and us to do crafts. So I want to introduce you to my friend Heidi. Heidi's going to show us how to do the crafts. And why don't you introduce yourself, Heidi?
Hi everyone, I am Heidi and I am the Kids and Youth Intern at St. Mike's. And I love a good craft. So James, we are going to start off with a money pouch. Ooh. Now don't get too excited, there's not actually going to be real money in it, but it is pretty cool in its own way. I'll bring it a bit closer so you can see that. And if you open it up inside, it's an actual pouch, which is always exciting. So we're doing this because if you remember, Jesus ended up on the cross because he got betrayed by Judas. So one of his disciples betrayed him for some money. So that is what we are remembering here when we think of Judas's money pouch, is that he betrayed Jesus for some money. So to do that, you are going to need a piece of card. Now this could be coloured or it could be white. James, I think James has got some colour card. He's making it snazzy. You will need some scissors. If you are a little bit smaller, you might need some grown-up help with that. And you'll need some glue. And you will need, where are my pens? Awesome. James has got the lot. Nice. Okay, so to start off with, what we will need to do is you will need to create a shape that looks a little bit like this, which looks a bit complicated, but it's actually fine. Don't worry, James. I'll see the pen. Yeah. It'll be fine. So we're going to start off by cutting a square. Now it doesn't have to be an exact square, just something that looks a little bit like a square. So one of the special ways of doing that is when you fold a triangle like this into your sheet of A4. But if you're like me and you're just not very bothered about how accurate it is, you can just draw a square.
Can we cut it anywhere?
Yeah, just cut it anywhere. Just say you've got a nice shaped square. It might be helpful as well to maybe draw a line across your paper so you know where you're cutting. Ooh. What a pro. James has got his square. And then pick two opposite corners to turn into curves. So you're just going to smooth off two opposite corners like this. I'll draw it on my paper as well. So one here and one here. So can you see that? I'm going to cut along those black lines to make two opposite corners curvy corners. Boom, boom, shake the room. Nice one. So it looks, James is looking like a little bit like a pea. And then once you've done that, you're going to fold it in half. So with your new curvy corners, they're going to meet each other here. So you're going to fold it that way. And you might want to do this on a flat surface so you can squish it all down. Squish, squish, squish. Make sure it's a nice tight fold. And it should look a bit like that. So we've gone from this to this. And after you've done that, we're going to do two more folds. So we're going to turn these folds in here. Oh, you can't see that, can you? We're going to turn these folds in here to meet in the middle. So I'll fold it and show you. So the little corners are coming to say hello to each other right in the middle here. So we've gone from here to folding in there. You got that, James?
Got it.
Crushed it. And the final fold that we are going to do is, can you see the top here? We've got two curvy corners. You're just going to fold one of them down. So not both of them, just the front one.
Just
down.
the one on the inside.
Like that. So the one, so James, so where it meets the corners.
Yeah, got it.
So the front fold down, smashing it, mate. And then once you've got all of your bits of paper folded down, you want to get some Pritt stick, and I'll draw where I'm going to glue. You want to glue here on this bit. You want to glue on this bit here, and you want to glue on this bit here, and stick them all down there. And you want to press it really hard to make sure that it's all sticking. You give it a good squeeze once you've got all the glue down.
Yeah, my glue is not really doing the job.
And your final undecorated money pouch should look a little bit like this. So you can actually see some stuff inside. Now, the decoration part, this is where it gets cool. So on my first one that I showed you a minute ago, you can see here that I have put Judas's money pouch as a title. But if you don't want to do any writing, then you could just decorate the front however you like, however you think Judas's money pouch would look like. And then on here, I've drawn a load of coins and coloured them in just on the inside of the opening. So you can do that, or if you're really, really fancy, what you could even do is draw real life coins like this, decorate them like this, and then with your real life coin, you could pop it inside the pouch in there. So it's actually filled with real coins or paper coins. You could fill it with your own coins as well if you'd like. So shall we decorate them now, James?
Yeah,
amazing. James, can we see your finished money pouch?
Okay. It's nothing special, but
It's amazing. It is amazing. I like the green theme that you've gone for there. What's the little things on the folds, on the triangle folds?
you know, I thought that Judas was obviously the type of person who cared a bit too much about money. So he has a bit of bling over there. I didn't have any glitter. I didn't have any sparkles. So he had bling on there.
I like
and obviously full of money.
What a great idea. If you have glitter or sparkles, why not add some as well? I just did, it wasn't quite as adventurous as James's, but then on the inside, I did add a few coins as well. Into
It's
my
3D, Heidi.
Okay,
I saw your leather.
We're recording whenever you're ready. Take your time.
Ready? Here we go.
Hello, and excuse me. Do you know anything about this Jesus coming back from the dead? It seems pretty unbelievable to me.
That was exactly what I thought. I'm Thomas, by the way.
Oh, hi, Thomas. Well, listen, if we both think it's unbelievable, then not believing it seems like the most unbelievably good option.
Do you know
I
that?
knew it was too good to be true.
That was exactly what I thought.
Wait, what? What do you mean, was?
Well, a couple of days after Jesus died on the cross, I began to hear stories that people had seen him again, alive and well.
Sounds like some pretty crazy stories from some strange people.
You would think so, wouldn't you? But the odd thing was, I knew most of these people, and many of them were my good friends, and they were solid, honest, hard-working types.
So in that case, why did they believe that Jesus was alive? Surely many of them had seen him die.
They had, and now they were claiming that they'd seen him alive as well. All seemed a bit strange to me.
So what changed your mind? I mean, you're clearly not totally stupid. This all seems pretty weird.
Yeah, I know that when people die, they don't come back from the dead. I'm not stupid at all.
So what did change your mind?
Well, the last straw was when all my closest friends claimed that they'd seen Jesus with them all together. All of them. I know. I couldn't believe it. And when they excitedly ran up to tell me, I just lost it. I was so frustrated. I just said to them, unless I see the nail marks in his hands and put my finger where the nails went in his hands, I will not believe it.
Ha! Now that would be the sort of proof you cannot argue with.
Well, do you know what? It's funny you should say that, because a week later, we were all gathered together, me and my friends, and then suddenly there Jesus was, right in the middle of us. And then he looked at me and he said, Thomas, here are the marks in my hands. Do you want to touch them?
What? What do you mean he turned up and then when he was dead and then he wasn't anymore and what?
I know. He was definitely dead. We can all vouch for that. But now he was clearly alive again. And as I looked at him, I could see the marks in his hands. He was definitely back.
My gosh, so what did you do? I would have probably fainted or puked or run away or I don't know, something dramatic anyway.
Well, I realised something. I realised that this Jesus wasn't just this amazing teacher and miracle worker and prophet and the king we've been waiting for. He was somehow even more than that. He was God. I don't pretend to understand it, but I knew it in that moment. So I looked at him as he stared at me and I just said, my Lord and my God.
You knew he was. I don't know what I mean. You think he's God because he came back from the dead and popped up uninvited.
Look, it's hard to explain, but I began to look back at the last 3 years that I'd spent with Jesus, and I realised that everything he'd been showing us and teaching us was pointing towards the reality that Jesus was somehow, in some sense, the same God who created everything, who made all of us, and who promised in the scriptures that one day he would rescue us.
But what does this mean?
I don't pretend to understand it all exactly, but I do know this. The very fact that Jesus came back from the dead changes everything. It's mind-boggling. It means that I now know that no matter what, Jesus is always with me. Forever. I know that everything I've ever done wrong, even doubting him, that's been forgiven.
Well, Thomas, this sounds like pretty good news to me.
Do you know, I think it may just be the best news there's ever been. Hey, did I see you had a map down there?
Yeah.
Hey, I think you should maybe see where it leads you next and see if you can find out any more information.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
So we just heard a really cool story about Jesus rising from the dead. Jesus was buried in a tomb. So imagine like a cave with a massive stone rolled in front of it. And when Jesus' disciples went to go look for him 3 days after he died, there was an empty tomb, which basically means he wasn't there anymore. That was really, really mind-blowing for them. So Heidi, what are you going to show us how to make?
Are you ready? It is Jesus risen out of his tomb, which is one of the most exciting parts of his life, because he has been dead in this tomb. An angel comes to tell them that Jesus has risen from the dead, and he appears to them just outside of his tomb after he's dead, and he's back up in person. So we've got a little springy situation going on here because he's come out of the tomb. He is our angel just here. And if you look very closely, when I drew Jesus on his hands and his feet, I drew little holes in his hands and his feet because that's where the nails would have been on the cross. So when he went to appear to everyone saying, I've come back from the dead, the people that he went to visit to, he would often, well, not often, but he showed them the holes in his hands and his feet to prove that he had indeed been crucified and then risen. So how do we make this? I hear you ask. Well, to start off with, you will need, surprise, surprise, another sheet of A4 card. You will also need, before we get into the main shape, to cut a rectangle about, I'll draw it with my pen. You'll need to cut a rectangle about this wide off of your sheet. So you want to
Like that over there?
about that. Yeah, maybe a little bit wider, maybe a little bit. Yeah, about that. That looks good. Looks good to me. And you're going to cut that. And then once you've cut this, you're going to do the same thing and cut it in half again. So you should have 2 strips of paper, 2 nice long strips of paper. So you can draw another line down the middle to help you follow it with your scissors if you need to. Or if you're feeling adventurous, just go for it. So you should have 2 strips of paper and then this fella left over. With this guy that's left over, we are now going to cut out our tomb. So it's like almost a big stretched out semicircle shape. Can you see that? I'll show you from the back. That's the kind of shape that we're looking to cut. But it doesn't really matter. However you want it to look like, you can make it look. So you might want to do a big semicircle like this. You do a big semicircle like that. You could do a square if you wanted to and maybe round off the corners. You could do a triangle if you were feeling really cool. It doesn't matter what shape it is. It's just going to be a tomb and it's up to you what it looks like. So we're going to leave this here for the time being. And the fun part is with these 2 strips, we are going to make this.
Oh,
This little bit.
that looks fun.
It is fun, James. It is very fun. So how we start off with is you will need to basically have these crossing over here like that. So you need to glue the ends together so that they make like an L. I'm going to stick it. This is my glued bit. I'm going to stick it onto here. So it makes a nice L or a right angle, you know. Just like that. And then after that is glued, what you're then going to do is this one is on the bottom and it's going to fold over the top like that. And then I'm going to pinch it shut. And now this one is on the bottom. So I'm going to fold it over like that. And then this one's on the bottom, so it's going to come across. And this one's on the bottom, so it's going to go over the top. And you just keep doing this all the way to the end. So I've got these ones didn't quite fit, but that doesn't matter. So then with these little leftover flaps, once you reach the end, you want to glue them together too. So you should have, when you pull it apart, a nice little spring.
Oh, I did that incorrectly.
Oh, what did you do, James? Let's see.
No idea. So I have it like this, right?
Yeah.
Then what happens next? Ooh, like that.
Yeah, like that.
See, guys, this one may take quite a while, but get someone to help you out. I'm sure they can. I needed help.
So, putting our spring to one side for the time being, we're going to come back to our tomb. Now, you want to draw a hole in the tomb, that the one that Jesus is coming out of. That's my hole. The door of the tomb. And then I'm going to draw a little angel at the side of the tomb. He's going to be really happy because it's like the best news ever. Imagine being the angel that gets to deliver the news that Jesus has written to his friends. That must have been really cool. You might want to draw some grass along the bottom. You don't want to draw Jesus yet because Jesus is going to go, if you remember, on the top of our spring. So once you have drawn the hole, the angel, and any other things that you want to add to the actual tomb itself, except for Jesus, you want to colour that all in as much as you like. What are you going to do, James, on the front of your tomb?
You know, I'm going to have an angel like you had. I'm going to have a little stick man angel. You know, I think I'm just going to leave it like that, actually. I'm more excited to decorate Jesus.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to also make sure that I draw the whole black because there would have been no light going into that into that tomb. It would have been very, very dark once you were inside. Now, Jesus. So with the leftover bit of card that you might have left, you're going to cut out a rectangle. Doesn't really matter how big. You want it to be a little bit, you don't want it to be massive, but a small rectangle that we're going to stick in a minute onto here. So we're going to stick the two together like that. And before I stick it on, I'm going to draw my Jesus on there. So I'll show you the initial stickman Jesus. And he's got a big smile on because he's come to deliver the best news. He's like, you thought I was dead, but here I am. So that's my uncolored Jesus. And I might even draw some ta-da lines around his head because it's a great day. A little ta-da.
Right man with a speech bubble that says, I'm back. There we go.
So once you've got your Jesus, let's see your Jesus, James.
Let me just put him back on. There he is.
Very nice Jesus. You are then going to add him. It doesn't matter which end of the spring you add him to, but you want to glue the end square, one of the end squares of your spring, and then with that end square, you're going to stick Jesus onto it, just like that. And then final step, the last step of Jesus coming out of the tomb, you're then going to take the other end of your spring and glue that square, just the end square, and you're going to stick it into the hole by the tomb.
There we go, see?
There. So
Well, that's quite fun. If you press it down and then let go.
Yeah.
Out. Like that.
And that is your tomb, all done.
Amazing. Well, Heidi, thank you so much. So we have one more craft coming up later. Heidi's going to show us how to make the most important craft we're going to make today.
A sneak peek.
It's going to be exciting. And I think we have one more story left. So let's see what happens.
Jesus, I've really enjoyed getting to know you today. You sound amazing, and I just want to say, I'm really, really sorry for all the bad things I've done, and I'm just so sorry. But it's amazing news that you've forgiven me, even before I said sorry. Ha! You're amazing. So, I just want to say, I love you, and this is the best news I have ever heard. And I hope you think so too.
Okay, so we've just finished all our stories from Messy Church, and honestly, this is my favorite story in the entire world. It's really epic because it involves myself, it involves Heidi, it involves all of you at home and all your friends too. So remember at the end when our puppet character learned about Jesus and what life Jesus wanted to offer her. This puppet character learned that Jesus loved them so much that he died, rose again, and still wants a relationship with us so that we can spend the rest of our lives with him. So Christians have this thing where they like to look at a cross, an empty cross, as a reminder that yes, Jesus died, but he also left that cross and he rose again. So every time we look at this cross, we can remember just how amazing he is. What a cracking guy. So Heidi is going to teach us how to make our own cross. And this is the craft I'm most excited for. Heidi, let's take over. Let's go.
Hey everybody. So for this cross craft, we are making a 3D hanging cross, which is super cool because you could hang it up. Sorry, I'm trying to get my hand in the string right now. You could hang it up on your curtain rail, on your wardrobe, on your door handle, on anything where you can hang stuff, and then you can have it as a little keepsake, which is fun. So you will need for this your second piece of A4 card, whether that is plain or colourful. And you will need some string and some sellotape for this one. So you'll need some string and some sellotape or some glue. So to start off, what you will need to do is fold your piece of card in half, long ways, like this.
Ah, like that.
Yeah, so the short ends to the short ends. And then, once that is folded in half, you will need a pen, pencil, or crayon. And you want to draw a nice big cross on there, but a 3D cross. So one that looks a little bit like this.
Got it.
Very wonky cross from me, but something I'm sure you could do a much better job.
I can guarantee you'll be neater than mine, Heidi.
If you have drawn your cross, you then want to cut it out with that we've drawn it on the folded piece of card for a reason, because then we cut out two crosses at the same time that are the exact same size. Perfect. So with your paper still folded, you're going to cut out that cross. You might need a little bit of extra help from a mum, dad, sister, brother, cat, dog, hamster.
Probably not a cat or dog, but...
Well, let's not put limitations on people.
Depends on how capable they are.
Yeah, they could be some like crazy G-force trained guinea pig in someone's home that is really good at holding two pieces of paper together. You never know. So once you're done, you should have two crosses that are the same size.
Okay, so we have 2 crosses.
Perfect. Then what you want to do with your 2 crosses is fold both of them in half from the top to the bottom. Only a light fold. You don't want to really like fold it. You just want to
Like that?
You just want to pinch the middle bit together, James. So just pinch it in the middle, just so that you know where the very middle of your cross is. Okay, so you should now have 2 pinched folds halfway up both of your crosses. So your crosses should look a little bit like this. Can you see? It's not like a really intense fold, but it's just so that you can see where the halfway marker is.
Just a tiny one like that.
Yeah, just a tiny one, so you can see where halfway up your cross is. Because what you're going to do next, I'll show you an example on the one that I made earlier, is you're going to cut down the middle top of one of your crosses and down the middle bottom of one of your other crosses. So the first cut, you're going to cut from the middle to that fold that we just made. And your second cross, you're going to cut from the top down the middle to the fold that we just made.
Oh, like that.
Yeah, just up the middle, just like that.
Cool.
First one goes from the bottom up the middle to the fold. Make sure you don't go over the folds, because otherwise it'll just be a disaster. It won't be, but it just won't work out. And then you want to go from the top. Make sure you're definitely cutting from the top, because I nearly cut 2 from the bottom there. You want to cut from the top to the middle fold as well. So you've got 2 folds here. And then what you're going to do is slot them together. This bit's a little bit fiddly, but it should work just fine. You're going to slot them together so that they sit in each other just like this. You might have to fold them around a little bit so that they sit nicely. But your final cross should look a little bit like a less wonky version of what I'm showing you now.
It looks better than mine though. Take a look at that.
That looks great, James. It's a
We're
cross.
getting there.
It's a good cross. And if it's a little bit wobbly, what you can do is after you've decorated it, you can always get some sellotape just to hold it in place. But you shouldn't have, it should be fine. So now that you know how to put them together, you're going to take them apart again. And you're going to decorate the front and the back of both of your crosses and then stick them back together again. It's just easier to decorate when they're not joined together. So you're going to decorate the front and the back of both crosses. I think I'm going to do lots of love hearts, because that was the whole point of the cross, was Jesus showing us how much he loved us.
Good idea.
And I might do, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because the cross is really sad because it was really painful, but also it's like the best news ever. So maybe I'll do some like red glitter on it or something to
That's a good idea. Remember, we were talking about this in Messy Church earlier. It's a really sad story, but it has the happiest ending ever. And because we know what's coming, we don't have to always be sad when we look at this. We can actually know that something good is around the corner.
Yeah, it's like a happy bad thing.
Yeah.
So, James, have you finished decorating your cross?
No, I haven't been able to finish, and I suspect very few of us would have. So, after this Messy Church service, why don't you take some time to finish decorating and doing that sort of thing? There's always time to do that. This is how far I got.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, I did some love hearts. I couldn't find any red glitter, but I did some love hearts, and I was so silly. I've done them upside down, but oh well. So once you have finished decorating, or you will finish decorating, if you wish, you're going to pop your crosses back together again, like that. And then what you're going to need to do to finish the final bit of your cross is you will need some string. As long as you want it to hang. It could be really small, it could be really, really long, however long you want to have it. And it will be easier to stick the string to your cross, to the top of your cross, with some sellotape. If you don't have sellotape, use the glue in the bags provided, because that will work just fine. You'll just have to wait a little bit more time for the glue to dry. So I'm going to do mine with glue too, because that is all that I have.
Using blue tack.
Yeah, you could use blue tack, that's a good idea. And you're going to want to stick it to the middle, into little bit of your cross. Doesn't really matter too much where. Ugh, I'm all gluey. And then, once that is dried, you should have a nice hanging cross.
Oh, nearly there.
Ta-da! And you can hang it up wherever you like. Or you could just walk around like this all day, hanging it on your fingers in the air.
That could work.
They could work.
Well, Heidi, thank you so much for taking us through the crafts today. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward for you to meet everyone in person when we can.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. I also cannot wait to meet everyone in person for the first time.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in today. So before we head off, we have one more song from our worship pastor, Ash, and this is a song called Get Up and Dance. So you can head off now if you want to, but if you want to celebrate the good news that Jesus has risen, because it is really good news, get up and dance and have some fun. Just to let you guys know that we will hopefully be in person in the coming weeks, and we will let you know what sort of things we have going on. We still want to be connected and gathered as a community. This isn't a one-off thing. We want to continue building into each other's lives. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful Easter, and hopefully see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Feet started tapping, our hands started clapping, our bodies started dancing before the Lord. Our feet started tapping, our hands started clapping, our bodies started dancing before the Lord. Yeah, come on and dance with joy in your heart. Come on and dance with joy in your heart. Oh, come on and dance with joy in your heart. Everybody's dancing for the Lord. Our feet started tapping, our hands started clapping, our bodies started dancing before the Lord. Our feet started tapping, our hands started clapping, our bodies started dancing before the Lord. Yeah, come on and dance with joy in your heart. Come on and dance with joy in your heart. Oh, come on and dance with joy in your heart. Everybody's dancing for the Lord. When I feel sad, it's you that makes me glad. When I feel low, it's your love, it's your love, it's your love that helps me grow. Yeah, come on and dance with joy in your heart. Come on and dance with joy in your heart. Oh, come on and dance with joy in your heart. Everybody's dancing for the Lord. And everybody's dancing for the Lord. bodies don't